Hello and welcome to North Country Matters. My name is Donna Seymour. I'm a member of the St. Lawrence County League of Women Voters, one of the civic partners for this show. Today we have Maggie McKenna, the Executive Director of the Potsdam Chamber of Commerce, with us in the studio. Maggie, welcome and welcome back to North Country Matters. You've been a repeat guest and it's wonderful to have you with us. You came in last fall as a candidate for the Potsdam Village Board and you won that seat. You came in as someone who at one time was coordinating adult services here at the Potsdam Library, and then you were here with Sarah Lister talking about being young electeds, and now you're here working for the Chamber. Yeah. Tell us why the Chamber of Commerce is your dream job.
Oh gosh, well, I saw that job opening in February and I'm like, you know, I really like it here at the library. I don't really want to leave. I just am getting myself sorted out. So I didn't apply. And I said, you know what, let a new person come in and see what's up, and maybe he'll leave in 3 to 5 years. I don't know, and I'll apply.
Or 3 to 5 months.
And that's what it ended up being. I was saying, 3 to 5 years I'll be at the library for that long, and then I'll consider that job, or you know, applying for it. And then 3 to 4 months it ended up changing quite drastically, and I did apply, and I was actually I said I would help with Summerfest and kind of be the interim person because I was already working here and I knew what was happening for Summerfest because I live here and I've been at Summerfest a number of times. So I ended up helping out in the interim and then applying for the job, and my boss at the library, Annie Chase, said, you have to apply for that. I will be a reference for you. So, you know, I had so much support going into this position.
And event planning is really in your background, isn't it? It's what you like to do, and it's your skill set. So it's perfect for something like the Chamber of Commerce, which is really a long series of events in many ways throughout your calendar.
There are a lot of things at the Chamber going on all the time. There's events, there's marketing, there's business promotion, and learning about businesses that are our members, and learning from them how I can help them best, and you know, and trying to get them promoted in the community more and more.
Right, so let's talk about the Chamber and the services that the Chamber offers. Start with the types of memberships that you have.
Sure, well we basically just have one type of membership, which is a business membership, but the pricing changes based on how many employees you have. So we have a small business or a nonprofit or civic group rate, and then we have medium, large, major, and then we also have a different rate for financial institutions and media. This is pretty common in the chamber industry to have these different rates based on the size.
Give us an example of who a major member would be.
So that's Clarkson University.
Okay.
That's Ken Potsdam Hospital with 50 plus employees.
Okay.
They pay a larger due. They pay larger dues because they're just bigger.
And of course, in St. Lawrence County, our education system, whether it's our 17 school districts or our 4 colleges, and our medical community, they're the major economic engines, aren't they?
Absolutely, and we do have somebody from the hospital, from Clarkson, and from SUNY Potsdam on our board, so they're able to really let us know what's going on in those large organizations and bring it to...
And those big employers, right.
Yeah, and bring it to the whole board so everybody is on the same page.
Right, and one of the things that happened in the last few months is that the whole Chamber website got reorganized and seems to be very user-friendly. It's nice, easy to navigate around, so you can find out a lot of different things in a hurry, and that's really a big plus, isn't it, for you?
Absolutely. We actually had it redesigned by Casper Green put it together, and actually that was in the works for quite a while before I even got there, and it seems like that's a lot of what's happening is that things have been in the works for a long time, and then I'm saying, okay, let's start it, or the board is saying let's start it. We're also working on getting the Welcome to Potsdam signs, new Welcome to Potsdam signs installed, and that's been in the works for 4 years, I think, and we've been just trying to get all the money together to be able to have them made, and we're gonna have the first ones installed really soon. So
Good, good. Well, those are important things because that's the doorway to your community, and so you want it to be something that's attractive and informative.
Yeah, so we have Northeastern Science making those, and they have made 2 of them. They're going to install them hopefully later this week or early next
wonderful.
week. And,
wonderful.
Yeah, it's really exciting.
So you have a business directory which the chamber puts up, and you have a lot of great information. It's called About Potsdam. So someone who's looking at the community, and we know a lot of people do because of the colleges, you're getting a lot of people coming into the community, maybe for 4 or 5 years, but maybe on a more long-term basis, and that's a great way to get an introduction, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think a lot of people know to reach out to chambers of commerce or business associations. They're called different things in different communities, but a lot of people know to look for that, and that's where they go and find that information. So we get a lot of phone calls saying, hey, I'm looking for this kind of person to do this kind of work for me, or whatever, like an accountant, for instance, and I'll be able to say, here's our member directory. There are 2 accountants on our member directory, and that's a benefit of membership, because that we are what we are, so we can show people, new people, or people who've been here for a while, we can encourage them to go to these businesses that are clearly a part of our community, and find that the Chamber of Commerce is doing the work to bring the whole community together and advertise and promote businesses.
And do that self-promotion that is so important for any community if you're going to have a vibrant business community, for sure. Now, you have several communication tools. I've gotten, in the last week, I've gotten a couple of your email newsletters, and those are very colorful and attractive, and it doesn't take a long time to go through them, but there's a ton of information there, and it's all very timely.
Absolutely, thank you. I'm so glad that you like them. I actually redesigned the email newsletter with John, the former director, while I was still at the library, because I kind of taught him how to use Constant Contact, and I was able to redesign the newsletter a little bit for him, but then I've kind of taken it in my own direction since then. I kind of start with sort of reflective comments on the week and what I've been working on and things that are generally important, and then I go into news and events and all that kind of thing. One thing that I added, actually I sent it probably right before this interview, but I added a business spotlight for our business leaders. So that's another, actually I should call that a type of membership. Our business leader program is for any businesses to pay. They pay 50% more of their dues, but they're able to get additional promotional opportunities. So that one of those new opportunities is a spotlight in our newsletter.
Okay, that's really good to know, and I like the fact that it's a little bit chatty, so that you're really outreaching to the businesses and saying, this is who you are, and these are the services that you provide, and there's this constant, what can we do for you? Give me a call. I mean, you really are right out there, and you're very easy to approach.
Good. So, I'm glad. I hope that my voice shows in that way. It's hard in writing to know.
No, I think it's working. I think it's working.
I'm so glad.
So we talked a little bit before about the kind of the structure of the chamber, but you have a number of opportunities for member businesses to belong to some of your committees and whatnot. So let's talk about the 3 committees that you have and the kind of work that each one of them does.
Absolutely. So the Membership and Marketing Committee, we actually just had a meeting, and we talk about member benefits, about member dues, certain small programs like our little fundraisers, like the hockey fundraiser or the annual dinner. Well, the annual dinner is huge, actually. It's not a small program by any means. But we kind of do a little bit of the event stuff in that committee, and then we talk about membership and creating new benefit opportunities and that kind of thing. So that's a really fun committee to be a part of. There's
And I would think there's a lot of
stuff.
there's a direct benefit to the businesses who actually belong to that committee, because they can promote themselves and their businesses as they are putting together some of these marketing ideas.
Right, absolutely, yeah. I'm learning what the function of each of these committees is as I go along. I've only had 1 or 2 meetings at this point, but they're all really fun and engaging in their own way. So the other committee is the Events and Festivals Committee, and that's the one that works on Summerfest and Fright Fest and the more community events like that. So that's also a really fun, idea heavy committee. So that's a great time, and our president Janice Adderley is on that committee, and she's just got the greatest ideas, so I love working with that committee as well. And then the Town and Gown Committee is actually the town, the village, a village representative and a town representative, and then the gown is the large institutions, so Clarkson, SUNY Potsdam, and the hospital.
Right.
So we work on really big projects, and one of the big projects is the Welcome to Potsdam sign. So it's trying to get the funds for those kinds of things, and in using these large resources to help the community.
And they probably also is great for visioning kind of work, because these are the major employers. They're the reasons why many people come to this community. Obviously, the colleges, they're going to be here for a while, either because they're students or because they are working at the colleges, and as the major employer for the hospital. And it sounds to me like they're really in a position to talk about what direction Potsdam needs to go in, so that we all can be successful together.
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the other things we're talking about in that committee is how to reach new faculty and new staff and new students, and just sort of the marketing component of reaching those people. And I
nothing
think
would be sadder than being in Potsdam for 5 or 6 years and never knowing what's downtown or what's available.
It's certainly been the case, I think, for a lot of new faculty and that kind of thing. I think that committee is going to be working really actively to encourage that. I think there's other organizations in the area that also do that, like Associated Colleges does a really great job with that. They just had an event the other day to introduce new faculty and staff to nonprofits and community organizations in the area. So that, I think that there's some really great energy around making sure people know what's going on around town, but we just have to make sure that we're all working together and we know what's happening.
Right. And talk about what some of the barriers are and come up with great ways to break those barriers down.
Right, absolutely. Yeah. The other committee that we're kind of working on creating is a finance committee as well, and we've had one kind of initial meeting. We're certainly going to grow. I want to see this organization grow. I think the whole board does. So I think we have to really be thinking about our finances all the time and have lots of people understand where we are and where we're going and how we're going to make that happen financially. So I think the finance committee is going to be really beneficial as we go into the future.
Well, unfortunately, we always have to pay for things. So if we have to go into that with a plan, we're better off than if we just say maybe the money will fall off the tree, right?
But I also don't want to be thinking that we're doing the same thing every year and everything's going to just be the same and we can just copy and paste. Not that that's how it's been, but I just want to make sure that we're really being creative
and not getting in ruts, because it's easy sometimes to get in a rut.
We don't want to be growing and just spending. We have to really think.
So let's talk a little bit about some of the events that are planned. You've got a big one coming up in a very few weeks with Fright Fest, which is an expansion of the old Fright Night, which is probably exactly what you're talking about in terms of giving some new blood and life to an event that's been going on for a long time.
Absolutely. I think we're in the 15th year of Fright Fest. Don't quote me on that one, but we've definitely been doing Fright Night for quite a while, and it's been a Thursday evening event. As a parent and, with other friends who are parents, we've talked about Fright Night and been like, oh, why? Why is it on Thursday? It's such a difficult time getting your kids all dressed up and trying to feed them before you go bring them downtown and hop them up on sugar and
then get them back to bed in time for school.
And then have to go to school. And actually, so I said, let's try to do like a mini summer festival, but in the fall. So that's kind of what I'm envisioning for this. It's not going to be quite as grandiose as Summerfest is. Like, we're not going to have a whole bunch of performers lined up. We're not going to have a whole bunch of sponsors either, because we just don't have the time. It's very time consuming to do all of that.
Sure.
So we're hoping to have a bunch of vendors and activities from member businesses and that kind of thing set up on the street on Saturday. We're still going to have the Ragamuffin Parade, which the Kiwanis and the fire department organize. That's still going to happen.
And kids absolutely love that.
Gosh,
that is
so
such a great event.
I love that event.
That's right.
I brought my girls to it in most years, and it's just so much fun. So I'm really glad that we're kind of coordinating with these organizations that are already doing costumey kinds of things. We're going to do a costume fun run with the community development program. Felicia Dumas from CDB is going to be organizing a little run, so that's going to be really fun too. More details to come, but which is kind of my motto, it seems like. More details when I figure it out. But anyway, it's going to be a really fun event. We're also going to have a bonfire on Friday night, so it's going to be Friday's really adult friendly. Kind of kick off to shopping for the holiday season, which is what Friday night used to be.
Right.
But that's what Friday night's going to be, and then a little bonfire to kind of hang out and have fun, and then that Saturday event. One of the things that I actually heard from a board member the other day was that the school district is really happy that we're moving this from Thursday to Friday, because they used to have basically just movie day on Friday because the kids were so wired.
Right.
So that was good feedback for sure.
Well, and again, it comes back to that coordinating with all the members of the community to make sure that you're doing something that is positive in every way that you can make it. So that makes a lot of sense. And of course that's coming up, but you've also you have ongoing events throughout the year, like Summer Festival, which is always the second weekend in July, and
it matches up with reunion weekend.
Right, Alumni Weekend, and townwide garage sales, which just got completed last month, and you're constantly doing ribbon cuttings for new businesses.
Which is so exciting! We
Yeah.
have another one across the street from us that hopefully I'll get a ribbon cutting in for them, and Five Guys just opened up, but we had to push their ribbon cutting off because they weren't quite done with the exterior, but that's really exciting too. And 4Up Running just opened up.
And you just did First Saturday, which is an opportunity for college students to come downtown and get a sense of what's going on as well.
Yeah.
And those are all street festivals for the most part, because you block off you block off that section of Market Street, and so it's just a lot of fun to be downtown and be able to wander around like that and have so much community spirit shown.
It really is great.
So, and talk a little bit, Maggie, about the awards and recognitions that you have, because those are things that every year I think the community really looks forward to figuring out, who's going to get the Business of the Year, who's going to get the Outstanding Citizen or the Outstanding Organization, depending on who gets nominated. So talk about that process and how that works.
Right, so we have the 3 awards that you just mentioned. Business of the Year is awarded at our spring luncheon. So we just did that, and that was the Sandstone Family Dentistry this year. And then the Pride in Potsdam and the Outstanding Citizen Awards are presented at our annual dinner, which is November 14th. So
That's coming up.
that's coming up, yeah. So the other word for the Outstanding Citizen, I believe, is a community something or other. But anyway, we're gonna hash that out on what we're
But
actually
sometimes
gonna
it's actually an organization as opposed to an individual sometimes, right?
The way it was explained to me was that the Pride in Potsdam is more for an organization or a business, and then the Outstanding Citizen is more for an individual. So I think we're going to probably go with that kind of definition this year. But what we've done in the past, from what I understand, is a paper nomination. Send in your nomination. I'm going to create a Google form this year, so that people can more easily tell us who they nominate. So we have already heard from a couple people, and we literally just started talking about it this morning.
Well, that's part of the indication of the health of the community, that people are already thinking about, I want to make sure this person gets recognized for the work they've done, because that shows you that people are paying attention to what's going on in their community, and they take a lot of pride
And
in
these
their
awards
community.
really mean something.
They do.
That's what I love
They're
about
big
it.
honors.
They really are. Yeah, it's great. I mean, we get press releases out for them. We actually just uncovered our plaques for them, so we're going to put those back up on the walls. And it's great how supportive this community is of itself. You know what I mean? Like, all the people in the community are so loving and wonderful, and I just love being a part of it and being kind of in the middle of it.
What's interesting, as someone who's a longtime resident of Potsdam, the downtown has changed so much from what it was when I was a kid growing up, because literally there were the Market Street area and the Main Street area were lined with little shops, and you could buy anything you needed in Potsdam. And then as urban renewal came in and some of those buildings disappeared and parking lots appeared, and the business community downtown has changed, but in the same token, it's still a vibrant business community. It just isn't concentrated in the same location as it used to
and
be,
I don't
right?
think it really needs to be. I mean, a lot of people say, oh, well, I'm not on that block that's closed off in Market Street, but that doesn't matter. People will still, they want to be in Potsdam.
Right.
People want to come to Potsdam to experience Potsdam wherever they are in downtown Potsdam or in Potsdam in general. So I think that just supporting each other across the whole area, the whole town of Potsdam, is going to be more beneficial than saying, oh, I'm in this one location.
Yes.
It doesn't matter. It's everybody's going to be supporting businesses.
I read not this week's newsletter, but last week's e-newsletter, and you said in there that you started to contact businesses about membership, and that some of them you're hearing from are saying, oh, well, I stopped being a member because I didn't think I got any benefit. And I loved what you said, which was that's an opportunity for you to either recreate the chamber experience in a way that invites these people in, or as you're talking to these businesses and finding out what it is they need, you can really fine-tune the local chamber, can't you?
And that's the whole point, and I love that you just called it the chamber experience. It really is. That's exactly what it is, and it is what you make of it and what's important to you, because some people will say, oh, I just care about being on the business directory, and some people say, hey, you'll come in and help me talk about marketing. Oh, wow, I really need that. That's awesome. Or you can refer me to other businesses. It doesn't matter. Or, oh, you've got a mailing, a bulk mailing permit. I'll use that. There's so many benefits, and they don't matter to every single chamber member. So we're just trying to, I'm trying to talk to as many members to see what is important to them. And I hope to add to that list as well.
And you also provide an information conduit for service organizations in the area. If they're doing something and they want to promote what they're doing, they can use the chamber as a voice, can't they?
Absolutely. And I think that the chamber should and can be the voice for any chamber member business to sit at the table with all sorts of folks. Like, I'm sitting at the table with the executive assistant to the president of XYZ organization, and it's hard to get those meetings usually. So, if I can help put these pieces together for our members, then I think that's beneficial too. And
just for anybody who has been living in a cave and doesn't know where the chamber office is, let's talk about where the chamber office is, and your phone number and that kind of contact information, so that people will know a little bit easier about how to get a hold of you, because you are the most approachable person in Potsdam. They just need to find you.
That's really nice of you to say. Well, first I'll mention our website is potsdamchamber.com. Our location is 24 Market Street. We're right next to Treasures Cove. We're about 2-3 storefronts down from Little Italy. So we are in the blocked off street, or where we can block off Market Street. Our phone number is 315-274-9000, and my email address is director@potsdamchamber.com.
So easy to find, and it's a great office, and you've been doing some, I wouldn't say renovations, but you've certainly
really.
been giving it a new facelift,
Actually,
haven't you?
so our landlord, Peter Barstow, he just did an amazing job. He had Williams Painting come in and paint the exterior facade, and it looks absolutely incredible. It's just a totally new space on the outside. And I'm Brittany, my assistant. She's awesome too, and you know, she and I have been kind of trying to redecorate a little bit, push things around so it's a little more inviting when you come in and a little more interesting.
And what are your hours, Maggie? When can somebody actually find somebody in the office?
So we're officially open 9 to 12 Monday through Friday, so it's really limited hours, but that's because I'm in and out. I have to go meet with businesses, I have to go to meetings. So the best way to reach me is actually just to send me an email and we'll set up a meeting. I can come to you or you can come to me, whatever works, but if you need to redeem or give gift certificates or something like that, 9 to 12 or call ahead of time.
Okay, so one of the things that you know is always nice to do when we're talking about something like this is you are in the business to sell Potsdam. So give us your elevator speech. If somebody's thinking about coming to town, maybe starting a business, what is it about Potsdam that makes this the destination place?
Still working on that. But you know, I came to Potsdam as a student, and I remember my first couple years in Potsdam saying, I will never come back here. This place is awful. It's so cold. It's terrible.
Yeah, the weather turns people off.
I just, you know, oh, this is going to be my last trip up to Potsdam. And then I stayed here for summer. And everything changed. And then I happened to meet a local boy, and everything changed even further. We moved away for a few years, and then we came back, and I just absolutely love this place. I mean, I know I'm not talking about the businesses, I'm talking about the people, but the businesses and the people are the same. You know, the people who run businesses here are absolutely incredible.
They're the lifeblood of the community.
They really are. So the way this community functions is so different than the way I grew up, and I absolutely love it. Everybody knows each other. You walk down the street and you know everybody. Even when students are in session, you kind of get to see the students who are active in the community, and you see them out, and you have a support system that doesn't exist elsewhere because of the way people are here and the way our community is so connected.
And you actually, you make a good point there. You mentioned about the students, and you're actually doing outreach to students, aren't you? As part of the chamber, you are looking to connect to students.
Yeah, we're trying for sure. I'm going to be working on a student-specific email that has a little bit of community events that they could go to and would be interested in. Maybe some sales and that kind of thing for businesses that are just for students. A list of businesses that accept Bear and Night in the night card. Bear Express in the night card, for instance, those kinds of things. So that's going to be one step that I'm trying to reach out to students. But I'm going to events like First Saturday, and sometimes I'll go into teachers' classes, actually professors' classes, and talk to students about what I do and what the chamber is and how I can help them. So those kinds of connections to students I'm working with.
Would there ever be an opportunity for someone to do an internship with the chamber
to
get some experience that
Actually,
way?
I just had a conversation with a freshman who's like, really want to get involved in the community, I really want to meet people, I want to help in any way, and so hopefully she's going to be an intern. And really we'd love to have more people in the office all the time, so that, you know, even just to help keep the office open, that would be really great. But there's so much to learn, there's so much to do, so I think there's definitely going to be a great number of internship opportunities in the coming future.
So that's great. Well, you know, any final thoughts, Maggie, as we get ready to close down?
Well, Just come and visit me. I'm around, or you can probably go to some meeting or event and I'll be there.
Or just say hi on the street, because we see you out there all the time.
Yeah, it happens too, yeah. So I just want to offer, come meet me, come talk to me, and let's see what I can help you with. I'd love to help.
Well, that's kind of, we're going to wrap up now, but thank you for coming in. It's always fun to talk to you. And, as you are doing these various different parts of the things in the community, the chamber director is somebody who's very integral to the community life, and you clearly have dove right in, and you are swimming just as strong as you can swim, so we're very lucky to have you. So thanks, Maggie.
Thank you.
So these conversations are a production of North Country Matters, which is filmed here in the Fred W. Cleveland Computer Center of the Potsdam Public Library. This show is a civic collaboration between the St. Lawrence County League of Women Voters, the American Association of University Women of St. Lawrence County, and the Potsdam Public Library. Until next time, remember, our North Country matters. Maggie, thanks. It's so much fun to have